Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Emma's Market Spotlight Estonia. My name is Michelle Ronquillo, and I am Emma's event manager. Emma unites music manager trade organizations across 13 European countries with over 2,000 members. Our mission is to bolster European managers globally through the Empower program, encompassing education, advocacy, networking, and research. If you want to know more, please visit our website and follow us on social media. I will put the links in the chat in a little bit. And also, if you would like to connect, I will also share Google Doc where you can leave your details to connect with all the people attending this masterclass today, this Market Spotlight today. I'm going to share the agenda of today. Bear with me 1 second. Today we have a very stellar lineup. We have today a moderated panel, and including a Q&A. Moderated by Thea, Zaitsev. We also have Marii, Reimann, Eva, Lepikov, Toomas, Olljum, and Kadri Boran. And they will introduce themselves in a little bit. And that's it for me. Please, if you have any questions, put them on the chat, and I will read them out at the end of the session. And over to you, Thea.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Thea. I'm preliminary an artist manager and also working as a publisher in Estonia. I run my own company, Tier Music and Tier Music Publishing. And I've also been on board with Music Estonia for many years, and now as also running the managers branch in there. So that's also one of the links. We are a member with Emma. So yeah, I'll be I've gathered I hope a wonderful bunch of people in here who are all covering a nice different subjects and ideas about how to enter Estonia and what's so wonderful about working in Estonia as an artist or as a manager. So I'll give my hand to Marii from Music Estonia next.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I'm very happy to be here. My name is Marii. I'll just quickly introduce myself before I put on slides. So yes, I work in Music Estonia, which is the export office or the development center of the music industry. So I'm a project manager there. So I work with a lot of different mentoring programs, export programs, so on and so forth, that can help to kind of develop the industry here in Estonia. I also run a management company, so I do work with a couple of artists myself, mostly on the pop realm of things currently, and also have previously actually taken part of one of the mentoring programs of Emma as well, which was really, really useful for me when I was starting out. So yes, go Emma. And I used to book for a music festival in Estonia as well. However, today I'm going to give you a bit of an overview and some slides about the Estonian market. I will mostly run through it, and I'd love to just send it to all of you who's interested through Emma later on, because it will have like quite a lot of links and names of our venues and festivals and so on and so forth. So I will speak of some of them. But yeah, I think it'd be great to for you guys to have it and leave a bit more time to have a discussion with our great people that we have here. There you go. But let's give it a go.
Should we, Marii, should we do a quick introduction of everyone first before you start?
That'd be fantastic, because of course also as I do go over the overview, it'd be great to, if somebody has comments from the panel, to hear as well. Sorry, go.
Toomas?
Hello, everyone. My name is Toomas, and I own a small label in Tallinn, Estonia. It's in collaboration with Sony Music. It was established 5 years ago. And my background is in artist management, been involved with Estonian artists for the past 15 years, internationally since 2009, 2010. And at the moment, I'm also on the board of Phonogram Producers Association in Estonia.
Eva.
Yes, hi, I'm Eva. I think I might be the only person here who is not the manager, but I'm here to represent Tallinn Music Week, which is the showcase festival and music industry conference in Estonia, in Tallinn, which we will talk a bit more about later. In other things, I also work for a couple small alternative festivals in Estonia in the summers. Previously have done some different projects here and there in PR. Also used to study in the UK, so worked with some smaller artists there.
Thank you, Eva. We got Kadri, our artist side here. So Kadri.
Hello, I'm a vocalist and pianist and composer, and I work both in Estonia and mostly in German-speaking countries if I go outside, or France or other places. And I can maybe open up a bit how it is over here in Estonia and how does the combo work, and what are the options to work in Estonia also.
Thank you. And I think we're now good to go, Marie, with your starter presentation about the overview of the market anyway. So over to you.
There you go. Oh, I hope you can all see it currently. If you not, I won't see it because I don't think I'm seeing faces right now, but
we do see it.
Great, thank you. So yes, as I said, I am from Music Estonia, which is the development center of music industry. So we have over 100 members. So this has music labels, management, publishers, venues, festivals, and so on and so forth. So we have, besides the whole network, we have two special branches as well, which one of them is dedicated to live. In many countries, the live sector has a separate organization, but since we're a small country, we're all together nicely. So it's kind of like a branch under the umbrella of Music Estonia. And same with music managers. So Music Estonia Managers is also a branch under the umbrella of Music Estonia, as most of the people were the members already. Again, we're a small country, so as we are working together on those as well. Yes, so talking about how small the country is, so there you can see we're about 1.3 million people, and here are other numbers as well that you can see. Neighbored countries that we work with or should work more with are Finland, Latvia, Sweden, and Russia. So obviously we're considered being one of the Baltics, but we do collaborate a lot with the Nordics as well, as you know, Helsinki is only a boat ride away, which is very close. In terms of country specifics, again, I'll send that presentation to you, but obviously knowing that we do come from a Soviet background, so there's a lot of influences, or there was a lot of, you know, music happening obviously at that time as well, and with rock summer festivals that started out bringing bigger names internationally, and so on and so forth. And I guess us being kind of between the East and the West and the North is always kind of depending on who uses kind of what to describe themselves. I guess a lot we're trying to and wanting to be Northern, but at the same time we see artists more and more kind of using or portraying their kind of Eastern identities as well. And here's some names of the artists that we see that recently have done quite well internationally. And I'm sure there's a lot more actually that aren't written here, but we do have some stories to tell already. Yes, well, Tommy Cash is one of maybe those examples that has known how to use the kind of Eastern European kind of visual language or identity to his benefit a lot, and kind of has maybe built a lot of his kind of career and visual world around that. So that's kind of a cool example. In terms of different numbers, we don't have a lot, to be honest. So we are working currently a lot with that, so that we would have like consistent researches that we can actually also compare to each other. So here are some numbers that we do have, but those are only the expenditure on music, not the other side of things. So those numbers are mostly coming from Finnish IFPI, and also collective societies, and also ticketing companies. So right now we see this side of things, but I'll be honest, our research numbers are not that regular yet that we can make a lot of conclusions. But you know, if you're interested in kind of how the percentages have changed and in some of the numbers, then you can see them here. Obviously, everything to do with what happened after 2020 is tricky. So yes, I think we'll still have a few years that we can see numbers that we can take a bit differently than just thinking through the lens of COVID and different crises that we've had. Live music sector wise, here's a list of venues that obviously we'll all send it to you. And there's a lot from the biggest like song festival grounds that is like a big part of our identity. So we do our huge song festival there, but also it hosts acts like, for example, we had the weekend here this year that was sold out. And so a lot of the biggest acts are doing their shows here as well. That is very scenic and beautiful. Here's a photo of Kultuurikatel, which is more of a maybe a rental space, but it's there. So yeah, different capacities and spaces that we have. You have an overview here. Obviously, we can maybe talk more about that later, but you know, a lot of the venues are struggling right now because of different crises, the economic system in general in Europe, and also you know, so people are struggling, so the ticket sales are trickier right now. So I'm not gonna sugarcoat it too much. It is a bit more difficult time, especially for the alternative scene right now. It's a great example here, for example, because we did this presentation quite recently, and already currently I need to say that Svetavar is unfortunately closing. That's been one of the most iconic recent opening venues, but we have several new ones that are coming up, and Club Hall, for example, is very well known already internationally. So this is focusing more on the kind of electronic music and the techno scene, and also they have like a label and a studio around that. So to that branch, I think they're doing very, very well. And some venues in Tartu, which is another like a smaller city. Well, second biggest, I think it is. Third biggest, Narva is second biggest, I think. Anyway, and there's some photos and links to other towns and venues here as well. In terms of festival, we'll speak more about Tallinn Music Week in a little bit, which is kind of, I think, one of the best kind of entry points to Estonia. But if we talk about more like genre specific stuff, then Jazzkaar does a lot, and they bring a lot of artists from the outside as well. Same goes for folk music. I'd say the world music scene in general in Estonia is very well developed, and is one of the best kind of, or more consistent export stories come from that. And it is a lot of young people mixing it with electronic music and so on and so on and so forth. So I'd say that's something that might be distinct about our country, that world music is kind of cool here and it does pretty well. And some other names of festivals as well that you feel free to check out. We've added ones that do book from outside as well. Obviously Tallinn Music Week often being the kind of pioneer, taking in the like whole new ones. Yeah, there's some photos of festivals. Yeah, as I said, the folk festival has been going around a long time as well, and do really, really well. Also some from the classical scene. As I mentioned, Tallinn Music Week, and Eva will speak a bit more on that as well, but it is one of the kind of flagships, I'd say, of our country, and a lot of our music companies use that platform as well to make contacts and present our talent and so on and so forth. We have quite a lot of partners coming in from neighboring countries as well, but also all over Europe. So, but Thea will talk a bit more about Tallinn Music Week in a little bit. Again, list of promoters. Live Nation is present here. They do quite a lot. They don't have like an agency here, so they do work as a promoter here only. But there's some other ones as well. And in terms of live agencies, we don't have a lot of booking agencies in Estonia. We currently you have Warner Music Live that recently started, United Stage Estonia that started as like a booking agency with an actual roster. Up until then, there were promoters, or have been managers booking their own artists, or majors working with their own artists in terms of booking as well. So that might be kind of like a newer development. Obviously, part of it is that the market is so small that a lot of the managers are doing the booking agent work themselves as well, quite a lot. Yes. So if you want to go to Music Estonia website, then we do have a live map as well. That's currently still developing, and we're making it better and adding stuff there all the time. But it's a bit of an entry point if you come to an idea of like, what other venues we have or festivals we have in Estonia. So we have that on our website as well, and hopefully will be better and useful for all of you to use if you want to reach out. Recorded music sector, I'm sure Toomas will have wise words to say about this as well. The label scene, all of the majors are present in Estonia, and recently more and more active every year, I'd say. So Universal, Warner, Sony, or have offices here that are in connection with the Finnish headquarters mostly. However, they do assign local talent as well. Mostly they work locally with more like Estonian focused music and pop artists. And there's several co-ventures with majors as Made in Baltics that Toomas works with, and also Smooth that works with Warner Music. And some indie labels that we mention here as well. So depending on the genre, but often it is sort of like a side project of something, and so on and so forth. So not all of them are full blown. We have like 6 employees, and it's a full-time label work. So they combine it with having like a series of parties that we do, or DJing, and also a booking agency, also a promoter. So again, as a small country, we often need to do a lot of things for it all to make sense, and for these things to kind of support each other. A list of studios that we have that could also be useful if you want to come over to record, or look for collaborations in mixing, mastering, or recording. Some record stores. If you want to contribute your music, do reach out. And if we talk about listening habits of online services, then still our most popular online platform is YouTube. Although Spotify is growing really fast, and obviously they have a bit of a different focus. However, YouTube is still very big here, I'd say. And Fairness is one of the Estonian kind of startups that is also a streaming platform, and their whole kind of focus is to have more like a really fair, user-centric system to pay the creators. So that's hopefully interesting to look into. Genre-wise, if we talk about top 50, then it doesn't come as a surprise that there's a lot of hip-hop, rap, obviously also electronic music, pop, rock to a degree as well. But yeah, I think hip-hop has taken over the charts for a long time already. So let's see what's next. But overall, as I said, if we talk about niche music, then I'd say that in terms of export stories, world music is one of the, combined with electronic mostly, or with a little bit of like a modern twist in things, is often has been a very good export strategy in some ways as well. Music media, yes, if we talk about listening habits, then we also see how people are discovering new music in Estonia. So however, we do see ourselves as a very digital country in very many ways, then radio and TV still have a place for it. Often it is that follows you in a taxi or in a car or so on and so forth, but somehow it does still affect the awareness of songs and how things are discovered. So so these numbers are a couple of years old, but it still shows that obviously social media is up there, but TV and radio still have a place in that as well. So it's not totally out of the window yet. Radio stations, we'd say Radio 2 is one of the main ones that does take the risk of playing more new music in terms of alternative and pop scenes. Currently, they have stopped putting a focus on very like smaller niches, but like comparing to the main commercial stations, then it's definitely a better entry point, especially if you already, I don't know, are playing a Tallinn Music Week, maybe you have another festival that's interested, then I think collaborations on Radio 2 or have them, you know, they do curate their program themselves, and if they like it, then they do support new artists quite well. Ita Radio does really well as well. It's more like a community radio base. So they have like, I think over 100 curators that do their own shows. So if you find something that might be of interest of a specific genre or a DJ, then, you know, it's worth looking into. And again, in Estonia, most music people know each other. So if you already know someone, then you can probably ask for contact for the next one. There's some media outlets. Music media is not... there's not a whole lot of outlets for specifically just music. It's mostly just culture in general. So that's something we feel like we are lacking. But yeah, if you're looking for some reviews and stuff like that, there are opportunities, but there's not a whole big variety of them, I'd say. Publishing and sync sector, we have 2 publishers, both of them that are active in that sense. Obviously, there's a lot of managers and artists that do work with their own catalog to some capacity, but companies that are actually focused on publishing, we have Far Music, working mostly with like pop and electronic music and dance, but they work very internationally, so they do have a lot of songwriting camps, producers that they work with and looking for creative collaborations often. Same with Tier Music, that have very, very like high level writers and producers on board, and Thea can speak more about that, but and they also have like a good sync focus and also work internationally. So there's some in terms of sync fields, other companies that do work with either sound design or also design vocals to different advertising agencies and so on. Israel Mystery, Kuka Sound that works with TV and trailers and that side of things. Apollo Music more for music libraries. And yeah, Authors Union, which is the collective society that still does a lot of licensing part as well. Yeah, our funding opportunities are not also, you know, we have some. So we do have Author Society and Performers Association and so on and so forth, the names that you have here, and all of them either do work with capacity building in terms of knowledge, bringing people together, networks and so on, and also some opportunities for funding, but that's mostly for Estonian companies or creators. Yes, here's the funds lists as well that we do have. So currently our latest win has been that right now we do have a fund for artists that want to go to a showcase festival if they're confirmed in the program. It's not a huge sum, but it helps. So we didn't have that for a long time, so now we do. So that's kind of like a big win for our little industry. And yes, so some other things as well that help with travel mobility or also business development, but the business development funds normally are already for companies that have more employees and more revenue and so on and so forth. Yes, so I was speaking super fast and I apologize for that, but I will send you the presentation, and also I think it'd be good to have more time to kind of speak and discuss those things. But I'll maybe quickly give a word before to Eva as well, because I think Tallinn Music Week is one of the best kind of entry points that we have for to come to the market. So Eva, if you want to quickly maybe speak a few words of Tallinn Music Week as well.
Yes, sure. I also have a presentation and I will try to speak quick as well. But I can't make any promises, but hopefully it's useful. So yes, Tallinn Music Week is the showcase festival and music industry conference in Tallinn. Next year, in 24, will be taking place for the 16th time, and it's going to take place in the start of April. Some nice pictures from last year's. Last year we had it in May, so people are wearing short sleeves, and it was very early summerish already. This is a slogan. We like to call ourselves the Festival for Tomorrow's Music, Arts and Ideas. This is where we what we aim to be. And yeah, I think it's important here to say that I think Tallinn Music Week is not just the entry point to Estonia, but also the larger Baltic Nordic region, because it's a very kind of important meeting place for the whole region. A lot of the Finnish industry comes here, Latvian, Lithuanian as well. Latvians, as far as I know, don't have a showcase festival, so they kind of come to the Estonian and Lithuanian ones. And yeah, we consist of the 3 parts, which are the music festival, the conference, and also the city festival. Here's a short, small overview of the timeline, what this year will look like. And also one thing we wanted to mention quickly is that we try to follow we do follow the UN's Sustainable Development Goals in our activities, trying to be as sustainable as possible, organizing a music festival. So about the music festival, I think what sets us apart from many other similar festivals is that we really are multi-genre. So anything from electronics to classical, from indie to funk, and so on and so on. So everything has a place in our lineup, really. And another thing is that our showcase program comes together in collaboration with a lot of co-organizers, which can be different festivals, which we'll talk a bit more about. It can be different local or international, actually, labels, venues, networks, sometimes even just an individual music industry professional wants to organize their own showcase, and we can make it work. So it's a good place to not just come and showcase yourself, but also actually get in contact with those festival organizers and other professionals. Another important thing is that we also work with those same curators to kind of handpick the specific delegates for each showcase. So we definitely have delegates for every showcase that takes place, and we make sure that they actually reach that showcase as well. And we take place, I think, this year in 10 venues. It's all very compact. Most of the festival is in the Telliskivi area, and some are a bit further away, but still everything is very, very nicely compact because Tallinn is a small city after all. And this year we're aiming for about 175 artists in 26 showcase nights over 3 festival nights. And also another thing to mention here is that although the artist applications are closed now, and I think we had about 1,600 artists apply. So normally the ratio is about like 10 artists, 100, no, 10, my mathematics is okay. 10 artists for a spot in the program. And another important thing for us is we are partner festival for Key Change, which is the gender equality network in the music industry. So we're very proud to say that half of our lineup is female and gender minorities. So here is a small selection of our showcase nights this year. I kind of picked the ones that would be maybe the most relevant for this context. So we have the festivals that we have been working with for many years already. We have Võnge, Viljandi Folk Festival, and Insigulmo Festival, who all curate their showcases. And also not just festivals, but Funk Embassy, a label, management company, and a promotions company in Tallinn. We have the Estonian Jazz Union organizing their own showcase night. And we have some international collaborators as well. For example, this year, Classical Next is back with their own showcase. Maybe another one that would be relevant here is NERDS, which is the North European Resonance and Dissonance Society, which is a network of festivals for alternative and experimental music. And the Finnish heavier music festival, Blow Up, which will be taking place in Estonia this year, is also having a little warm-up at Tallinn Music Week and hosting their own showcase. So you can see how it's like a good place to connect to not just Tallinn Music Week, but very many different local players, and not only local, but international as well. Some more pictures from last year. And then the conference. A quote that has been said about the Tallinn Music Week conference is that it's the place where presidents and punks meet, which I think is a very good description. So we definitely we have different music related topics, of course, workshops, seminars, panels. We like to look at the kind of wider connection points of music and society. A lot of cultural policy making is also in our focus. So we bring in not just the musicians and not just their teams and not just the industry, but also the actual cultural and musical policy makers. Another thing I wanted to mention is that from last year, we are a founding member of the Federation of Music Conferences, and alongside Eurosonic, Linecheck and Reeperbahn, we are also working on music policy development on like EU level. So also Tallinn Music Week is a place where those people come together. And the conference, we have about 150 speakers, 40 panels, and also workshops. And alongside the conference program, of course, there's different networking events, speed meetings, receptions, many places to get to know the people in the local and international music industry. Another thing to mention, which sets us apart maybe from other showcase festivals, is that we provide each artist, each member of the artist party, and each member of the team a pro pass if they want it, because it's important for us to also educate the artists and give them the opportunity to take part in the kind of music industry discussions as well. And here's a little list of previous sort of star speakers, so to say. And we've already announced 11 speakers for this year. Some great people here. For example, Bertie Downs, who's the manager and advisor for REM. We have Elena Natale, the founder of Club Hall, which Marii before mentioned, and many other interesting people. This list will be a lot bigger very soon. This is a reception at the Funk Embassy last year, who recently opened their studio and office. And just a little selection of what this year will bring us. So we have a big key change network meeting in Tallinn. Also, they will be hosting a showcase. And as I said, Tallinn Music Week is also an important place for the kind of Nordic industry to come together. So this year, the Swedish Independent Labels Association, SOM, will be here, as well as Music Finland will be collaborating with Culture of Capital Oulu 2026. They will be present. The Independent Venues organization, Live Europe, and many other interesting international organizations, as well as Viljandi Folk Festival, United Stage Estonia, Funk Embassy probably will be also hosting their own networking events. And just very briefly about the City Festival as well. So we also do different activities to introduce the city and the urban environment. Maybe the most relevant things for artists would be that we host city stages in different, like, interesting, maybe unexpected places in the city. And last year, for the first time, we had a jam session for the artists, because we heard that artists kind of want the opportunity to hang out together as well. So that was a very nice Saturday daytime activity. And just a small little graph about the growth in 15 years. And I think I can say that also maybe kind of illustrates the growth of the local industry. how from 2009, actually, the numbers, the stats, the different players, the number has grown a lot. And just kind of a little overview, a list of the perks for the artists and of course their teams. So one thing is that you do get a pro pass and can take part in the whole conference program. As already talked about a lot, that it's the place for the Nordic and the Baltic industry to come together. We definitely find big importance in music and cultural journalism. So we always put in a lot of effort to bring the best international journalists to the festival. As already said, the delegates are handpicked for each showcase. We definitely place special focus on production quality and the atmosphere of the whole festival, the venues. We have specifically designed workshops and conference topics also for the artists, and this is something that we try to do better and better each year. And we have many interview and marketing opportunities for the artists. Also the city stages that I mentioned, this is open for all artists to show interest, and then we kind of curate who fits where. And yeah, the people that come to Tallinn Music Week as the public tend to be enthusiastic music fans who want to get introduced to new varied artists. And we cover the accommodation and the local costs for the artists that come here. And how to get to Tallinn Music Week. The applications for 2024 are closed, of course, but after the festival this year, which is in the start of April, we'll open the applications again. So there's like a little application round that you can find on our website, and the applications are open for quite a long time. So it's pretty hard to miss it, I guess, if you want to come to Tallinn Music Week. And as a professional, of course, you can come as a pro delegate or connect with us in Music Estonia if you're interested in being a part of the panels. If you think that you have something interesting to offer to the conference program, then we're also always very interested to meet you all. And definitely, if you do get selected, then check for the funding opportunities in your local countries, because often expert offices can provide some support for you to travel to different showcase festivals. And yeah, why we do it all is that we think that music should be a tool for change. This is the kind of core goal of Tallinn Music Week. And there's a little discount code for all of you here if you do want to come to Tallinn Music Week, but I'll share it later as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Eva. And yeah, as a manager who's been taking part in a lot of international conferences and festivals, then yes, Tallinn Music is definitely, I think it's been growing and it's a place to come. And I think it has a very valuable industry people coming from all over the Europe. So it's not that much just Scandinavian Nordics, but from all over the world and around Europe and US. So I can say high words about it for sure. But since obviously time is running quicker than we all think, I'm going to give next word to Toomas, who introduced himself. But it's yeah, we were just thinking that from Toomas's hand, it would be great to sort of mention a little bit how it is to actually enter the market as an artist, or how to sort of approach Estonia as a manager. So how open is our market for external players? So Toomas, take it from here.
Yeah, in my opinion, first and the most important thing regarding the Estonian market is to understand what's your goal, because as everyone mentioned, Estonian market is really small. So in terms of digital income, in terms of public performance, or even live performance fees for entry level artists. So these are small in Estonia. So you have to know why you want to come to Estonia and what you are looking for. and in order to create those kind of realistic expectations, I think overall my recommendation is to invest into the local know-how, meaning I think, as Marii pointed out, that when you have a contact with one Estonian music business professional, you have access to almost like anyone. So, get in touch with Music Estonia, get in touch with people and find a person who can give you an overview of our market, and particularly according to the artist or project that you're working with. And I think it's also, as everyone has pointed out, the first points of entry should definitely be Tallinn Music Week. My recommendation is that even if you're an artist, before applying to perform as an artist, you should come a year before the delegate. Get to know the venues, get to know the people, get to know the festival, and it's a perfect place to network. Everyone is always, everyone who comes to Tallinn Music Week is always super curious, very open, to meet with artists, to meet with local professionals, and there's definitely a whole lot less traffic than at some bigger European showcase festivals. So definitely, in order to get an overview of our market, travel to Tallinn. Definitely, it's worth to speak to, if you're an artist or if you represent an artist and your artist to perform here. It's always worth speaking to the smaller festivals, those festivals with a bit of an alternative edge, like Võnge or Inti Kurmu. Again, those people are always present at Tallinn Music Week. They're organizing their showcases, and in general, in my opinion, Estonian music market is quite a tough nut to crack. But we're also very influenced by all the other global trends. The interesting kind of thing is that even those artists from our neighboring countries who have kind of broken through in Estonia, they've done it so with certain international buzz. But overall, make sure you understand why you want to come to Estonia, get to know local people, invest into their know-how, get consultations, come to Tallinn Music Week, and I think then definitely some doors can open in Estonia. So these are just
So will be. I think it will be interesting to take a little bit of another side of the prize. So I would give word to Kadri. So Kadri, how do you see being I'd say a very internationally successful artist already from Estonia? How is it or how has it been from you to get your music heard internationally? How to break outside from Estonia, coming from a small country as we are? So can you give us an input from your side in here as an artist?
Yes, well, I've been doing it a long time. That is the only thing I've ever done has been the music. But maybe I'll start out with the same recommendation, which has been already strong in Tallinn Music Week. ever since the first Tallinn Music Week took place, every Tallinn Music Week has literally brought me gigs outside of Estonia. So not a single one has passed by. So there is always someone. And I think the chain of performances already started before, because we have some nice showcases that are not called showcases as well. One festival here that was mentioned, Jazz Car, is the biggest jazz festival in Estonia, and a lot of delegates are also brought from different places to see our musicians, but also others. And this has been also a great platform to meet other people. So it's almost kind of a showcase already there. If you're interested in a jazz or alternative or folk combination with some pop or soul music, then there are definitely also good journalists from around the world visiting that festival as well, not only Tallinn Music Week. The same goes for Viljandi Folk. And for me, it has been really a nice journey. And mostly all the gigs that I've had so far outside are a long chain over 17 years. Like whoever saw me at one concert in Germany invited me to the next one, and so on. And it's been going on until now. But also the Tallinn Music Week part has really helped out. But if you come to Estonia, like if I could recommend something now, listening to all of you, then definitely our education system is very good for that as well, because in the Estonian Music Academy and also Viljandi Culture Academy that belongs to Tartu University, it's all of those different music departments are very, very active, making collaborations happen with professional musicians and also producers now. And not only on a starting level. So even our teachers are inviting other professional musicians, having it supported by government. And then they're actually making big concerts happen. And this is a kind of also a way to just collaborate and offer a workshop. And it usually works also with a give and take kind of way, that you are invited maybe to some university to give a workshop, and it goes two ways. So this is one thing that you might also think about. Maybe you have something to offer for some of our universities. And it might be a way to also get to know people. Because what I have seen that doesn't really work are those so-called country stages, like Poland Night, or like all the collaborations work much better. Come to Tallinn Music Week, find some Estonian artists like me, and then collaborate. And we have I can make some people listen. This other person, but this is not maybe a joke or not, but just find out the Estonian musicians that you really like. And I think those big festivals are the greatest place to do that. And try to find out who are the artists that actually Estonians love, because then it's easier to make this collaboration happen. And this is how I have also worked outside. Like if I go to some German stage, I'm very often in a show, not a showcase, but a festival, on a festival stage, also with a combo with a local artist. And it always works. Always it works. So finding someone to collaborate is definitely a way to do it. Either it's on stage or in some school. And what small places absolutely love, like Estonia is so small. We love people who know about our culture. And Estonians are completely cold to people who don't know about Estonia. So, and it's not so hard to find out about Estonia, and just a few nice facts. So, because if you know even a few of our words in our local, beautiful, very unique language, it's definitely a factor that will make a difference. And so maybe I've now spoken as fast as I could for giving different kind of tips. But
Thank you,
so
Kadri.
one thing that I wanted to add also is what has worked with me as well, because ever since I started going outside, it kind of supports my action and my in Estonia as well. Like people in my scene see me as somebody who goes outside, but also what I see for artists that enter Estonian market, it actually matters very much. Your history outside. It's what have other people written about you before. So this is of course classic, but even for me as an Estonian, like I have to be great outside so that people in Estonia would say that, yeah, this is good because, you know, outside they're telling the same thing. So all those classical things also work in Estonia, but it's a very, very small market. So practically you cannot have a big tour. If you want to have big concert, you can only have one. And if you want to have quite a big concert, then you can have two in our two cities. And if you have a jazz tour with jazz clubs, then you can have 5 to 7. So this is like the practicality. And jazz clubs is no money. It's so little you can hardly cover your costs. But the point is that you will be in our social media for a longer period. So this is actually a very smart way to introduce your music, to have smaller concerts for a longer period. And I've seen it also work if you want to introduce some new program rather than having one concert.
No, I totally agree with Kadri, and I think, you know, values of sort of coming from a small country is obviously that, you know, we all sort of know each other and we can support each other. But I think one thing, important thing from not just for a country, for Estonia, being as small as we are, it's important that, you know, artists always have to be very eager and hungry to do big things. Because I know an interesting thing we discussed last week was that, you know, in Lithuania, there are artists doing 5 arena shows a year, and, you know, even planning more. And, you know, in Estonia, one of my artists did the first one this year, and it was such a let's say such a big project that somehow no one ever has planned one before. But I think it's something we would definitely say that please do it, you know, dream big and try it, because I think none of us really knows what can come out of it, and it's always worth to give a shout, and somebody has to be first at some point, but it's easier to follow. So I agree with a lot of points that Kadri says. And one thing I actually wanted to ask from Toomas as well, because I know, you know, as a manager, over the years you've been bringing sending your artists to our neighboring countries. You know, you've had shows in Latvia, you've had shows in Finland. So how do you see, what is the connection between Estonia and our neighboring countries, or how much do we collaborate? So if you can bring a little bit of information about it for the audience in here.
Yeah, I mean, for me, you know, it was just so obvious that you know, coming from Estonia, I should at least collaborate with you know, Latvia. And you know, first of all, it's so close. Like when we're 4 hours from Riga. So when you're thinking about European levels, not even mentioning you know, North American levels, 4 hours is you know, neighboring town basically. So I think we should definitely, you know, look for more opportunities in our neighboring countries. Of course, you know, Latvian industry is much more similar to our own in Estonia, and I think that even when you're coming from outside of, you know, our 3 Baltic countries, maybe you should have some kind of a regional outlook of you know, what you can do here in all of these 3, you know, Baltic countries. Finland is, of course, it's already, you know, it's a bigger market, or it's much more, you know, developed. Players industry are you know, very developed there is, there are publishers, there are record labels, management companies, promoters. So it's a very kind of standard structure already. So it's in a way a bit harder to get into the country, but still, I'm always urging everyone to try. And as you said, I'm kind of always been supporting the ambition. I think it's something that all of us in our market should definitely have more.
Thank you. So Jess and Michelle, how are we doing? Should we get into questions if anyone has any?
We still have a few more minutes, but I see that questions are being already answered in the chat. Thank you so much, Marii. Is there anyone else would like to ask a question? Now is the time.
Maybe one question I can ask from Kadri then, as a sort of a last thing from me. Kadri, can you share maybe some networks you feel like you mentioned a few obviously about like some of the sort of main like companies or networks in Estonia you feel that being strong for you supporting your artist project and organizations artists should get in touch with if they want to enter Estonia to come play gigs or make some music other than writing to you directly?
Well, main places are already mentioned, but in addition, if you wanted to enter jazz scene, which in Estonia means all sorts of alternative music. So don't think that Estonian jazz word means jazz. It's all music that is not pop and maybe combination with folk is also under jazz these days. So if you even connect to Jazz Union in Estonia, you can connect to lots of different venues. And we have not only Jazz Car Festival, but all the festivals are a group of people who are very, very open to different kind of collaborations. And also there are those smaller venues. And if you go to Estonian Jazz Union page, you can find all those out, like Sõru Jazz or Muhu Jõujää Festival. You don't have to memorize them all because all of them are listed there. And but definitely collaborations, Estonian Academy of Music and Theatre. They also now have a producers line. They just started with that. And also NUBA Music School. They also have producers working over there, and they have, like, we have all genres. And in Viljandi, they're more focused for folk, but also they have producers line which combines folk and pop and jazz. And they are also organizing concerts with those with the school and collaborating with Viljandi Folk Music Festival. And so if you have some of the alternative kind of whatever, then I think definitely the starting point is to either come to Estonia or connect through Music Estonia box, I don't know, in Jazz Ahead in Reimann, which is taking place in March, for instance, or actually all sorts of those places where Music Estonia, and we are represented in all those bigger repertoire and so on. So to all of our main contacts for also the places I mentioned are usually represented in those places as well. And we are all kindly sharing our contacts because there's so little of us. And we love to work together because also we have a lot to win from it. So don't hesitate to write any Estonian. We're very, very open. And definitely in Jazz Union, people and in Jazz Car, people usually also respond to all the emails, and people actually notice you if you have a good idea. And but I think, as Toomas mentioned, come already a year before you have some plans, because all the main people are there in Tallinn Music Week, or if you're interested in folk, come to Viljandi Folk Music Festival. like, and find out beforehand already if you want to participate more as a delegate, or maybe, yeah, if you're not a journalist yet, then become one for a time of being at the Viljandi Music Festival, a folk or in Jazzcar, just to share in some place, and whatever media type of place in your country, just volunteering for that part, just to find out the people there. I've seen people do it, and I see that they have won from it. So just taking part actively as a listener in a festival, and sharing the news. This is what is a good entrance for Estonian organizers, because a lot of the organizers are actually musicians as well. So to open the door into the heart is to offer cooperation. And if you want to cooperate and share Estonian stuff outside, then this is a good trick to do it, because we love it.
Thank you, Kadri. So, does anyone else from Estonia, from the panel, want to add something, or should we see if there's any questions? Chester, Michelle, do you feel we've covered everything about Estonia, or is there anything you feel like we should add?
There is one question from Eleanor saying, what if this is for Tallinn Music Week, how do they decide what artists to book internationally? Are there any particular things that stand out?
Good question. Also very often asked and very hard to answer. Because as I said before, you know, we do get a lot of applications, so it is 10 artists for one spot roughly. So it's just, you know, it is tough competition. And also, as I said, we work with a lot of co-curators. So how it normally works is that they do their first picks, and then we kind of help them curate it, because of course we want the overall lineup to kind of showcase the best that there is to offer. But the selection is just the huge work, and there is no one answer really to it. I think we do definitely. So of course, as I believe most showcase festivals have in their application questions, kind of your goals, or what you're looking for in that specific festival. That is definitely important for us to kind of know that we are not booking this artist just because of booking them, but they actually have some ideas how to work in this region, or what they want to achieve. And yeah, of course, always kind of talking like personally to us as well helps us kind of notice, or kind of lets you explain more why you want to perform. But it's yeah, tough question to answer. No one answer. And very important to say that if you don't get selected, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try again. Definitely try again, because our kind of lineup changes every year in terms of the curators as well. So kind of the styles and what we're looking for is different every year.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else in the room that would like to ask any more questions?
Well, hey, I had a little question to Kadri, actually. I'm an electronic pop artist from Finland. I know I already wrote my question to the chat, but I thought that might be a good time to kind of ask about this. Would you be interested in doing this electronic pop track collaboration, guest vocals on a track?
Yes, I'm always interested in that type of collaboration. Definitely. Let me know about some ideas.
Okay, I can send you a demo of the track to your email or something.
Yes, do that. Looking forward.
Okay.
We have one last question in the chat as well. Natalie is more curious about alternative underground ecosystems or fund a lot of creatives and creative projects through crypto funding schemes. What does the music tech landscape look like in Estonia right now? Anybody particularly hot on music tech?
It should be a lot better is the answer. I think our tech scene in general is very strong and well developed, and I think music sector is professionalizing more and more every year as well. And I think now more and more there's parts where to collaborate. So there are some initiatives happening. We have one program within Music Estonia that is in collaboration with Hemi, where it's like an incubator where we do have some of those initiatives with us. Right now Fermos is doing quite well in terms of a streaming platform, but there's more initiatives happening. But yeah, right now we have one incubator program that works with that, and we're planning another like a hackathon type of thing, so that we would kind of encourage more connections within the tech and music sector. I think there hasn't been that many environments where they bring people to the room for ideation and kind of look at what the challenges in the industry are and so forth. So we're definitely looking to kind of do more things towards it in the future, because it's kind of a no-brainer for a country like Estonia. But so yeah, there's some initiatives, but there could be a lot more.
Thank you so much, Marii. Jess, do you have any other questions?
No, I think we've gone a bit over time, so I think we're good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody, for your wonderful insight on Estonia. And also, I just want to add that there's a great EMI guide, which I know a lot of people on this panel helped create, to Estonia. So if you want to know more information, want to dig a bit deeper into the facts and figures, there's an opportunity to do that through this. So yes, thank you so much. Really appreciate it all.
Yeah, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
thank you. We will be adding the recording to our YouTube platform in the upcoming days, and we will share your presentations as well whenever you send it to us. So thank you so much.